One accidental kiss with the hottest boy in school made Farah his secret obsession and the target of every mean girl in Seoul. Sungmin was cold to everyone else, but when they were alone, he held her like she was precious and kissed her like she was his entire world. They came from completely different worlds. He had everything. She had nothing. But their hearts didn't care about the difference, and what started as an accident became the greatest love story neither of them saw coming. Farah's heart hammered as she stood frozen in the crowded hallway at Seoul International High School. Her lips still tingled from what just happened. Books lay scattered across the polished floor like fallen soldiers. Every single student stared at her with wide eyes and open mouths. She had just kissed him, the most popular boy in the entire school, Sungmin. 1 second she was rushing around the corner, arms piled high with textbooks. The next second, she crashed into someone's solid chest. Her feet tangled. She stumbled forward, and her lips pressed directly against his. Now, she looked up at the most handsome face she had ever seen. Sungmin towered over her, dark eyes filled with shock. His perfectly styled black hair fell slightly over his forehead. His expensive uniform looked custom-made, nothing like her simple scholarship one. He touched his lips slowly, staring at her like she was some strange creature. "I'm so sorry," Farah whispered in terrible Korean, her accent thick. "I didn't mean to." A sharp voice cut through the silence. "Get your dirty hands off him." A beautiful Korean girl stormed through the crowd. Her long black hair swayed perfectly. Her modified uniform looked fashionable with a shorter skirt. Gold jewelry sparkled on her wrists. This was Jiwoo. Even after only 3 hours at this school, Farah knew who she was. Everyone did. Jiwoo's face twisted with hatred. "Who do you think you are? Do you know who he is?" Farah bent down quickly, gathering books with shaking hands. "It was an accident. I'm really sorry. An accident." Jiwoo laughed cruelly. "You scholarship students are all the same, always throwing yourselves at rich boys." Heat rushed to Farah's cheeks. She wanted to defend herself, but her Korean wasn't good enough. Words stuck in her throat. Tears burned behind her eyes, but she refused to cry. Sungmin spoke, his voice deep and calm. "Jiwoo, that's enough." Jiwoo spun toward him, expression changing to something sweet and fake. "Appa, I'm just protecting you. This girl obviously did that on purpose." Something flickered in Sungmin's eyes. He looked at Farah again. Really looked. She wished she could disappear. Her curly hair was messy. Her skin was darker than everyone else's. Her clothes were simple and worn. "Move along," Sungmin said quietly. "All of you. The show is over." His tone carried authority that made everyone walk away immediately, though they whispered and pointed. Jiwoo shot Farah one more, poisonous look before linking her arm through Sungmin's. "Come on, Appa. We have class together." Sungmin gently pulled his arm free. "I can walk by myself, Jiwoo. We broke up 3 months ago, remember?" Jiwoo's smile turned tight and dangerous. She whispered something in his ear. Eyes locked on Farah. Whatever she said made Sungmin frown and shake his head. Then she walked away, expensive shoes clicking. Farah grabbed her last book and stood quickly. She needed to escape. But Sungmin stepped into her path. Up close, he was even more intimidating. Tall, probably 6 feet with broad shoulders. His face could have been carved from marble, but his eyes caught her attention, studying her with intensity that made her stomach flip. "What's your name?" he asked. "Farah. Farah Benali. I'm new here, obviously." She tried to smile, but it came out nervous. "I'm Sungmin. I know, everyone knows. The corner of his mouth twitched. Almost a smile. You really didn't do that on purpose. No, I would never. I just got lost, and I was rushing. She was babbling now. She closed her mouth firmly. Sungmin picked up one book she missed. Old and used, with someone else's name crossed out inside. He handed it to her carefully, fingers brushing hers. That small touch sent electricity up her arm. Welcome to Seoul International High School, he said softly. Then he walked away. The rest of the day was a nightmare. Girls bumped into her in hallways. Someone spilled juice on her desk. In the bathroom, she heard girls laughing about her, saying terrible things. By lunch, Farah felt exhausted and homesick. She missed Algeria, her grandmother's cooking, the familiar sounds of Arabic and French. She found an empty cafeteria table and sat with her small, packed lunch. Just rice and vegetables. But Jiwoo had other plans. The queen bee approached with 3 girls. They surrounded Farah's table, blocking escape. Jiwoo's smile was sweet as poison. Having lunch alone? How sad. But I guess that makes sense. No one wants to sit with someone who attacks boys in hallways. I didn't attack anyone, Farah said quietly. Sure. Jiwoo knocked over Farah's water bottle. Water spread across the table, soaking her lunch. Oops, my hand slipped. Accidents happen, right? The girls giggled. Other students watched, but no one helped. Too afraid of Jiwoo's power. Farah stood, grabbing her ruined lunch. Excuse me. Jiwoo grabbed her wrist, squeezing hard. Her voice dropped to a hiss. Listen carefully. Sungmin is mine. He's always been mine. We're getting back together soon, and when we do, I'll make sure you're kicked out. So stay far away from him. Understand? Farah pulled free and walked away. She threw her soggy lunch in the trash and headed to the school garden, the only place she could breathe. Tears finally spilled as she sat on a stone bench behind tall bushes. This was a mistake. Coming to Korea was a huge mistake. Her brother Malik worked 2 jobs to help support her being here. And for what? To be bullied and humiliated? Why are you crying? Farah jumped. Sungmin stood nearby, holding a lunch tray. He must have followed her. I'm not crying, she lied. He sat beside her, setting his tray between them. Jiwoo bothered you again. It wasn't a question. He knew. Farah didn't answer. She's just possessive. We dated for 6 months before I ended things. She hasn't accepted it yet. Why did you end it? The question escaped before she could stop it. Sorry, that's not my business. Sungmin looked at the sky. Because I realized I didn't love her. I'm not sure I even liked her. Our parents pushed us together for business. It was convenient, expected, but it wasn't real. He picked up a container and offered it to Farah. Beautiful fresh fruit, cut perfectly. You should eat something. I can't take your food. I have more than enough, please. Farah's stomach growled loudly. Embarrassed, she took a small piece of melon. It tasted like heaven. They sat in comfortable silence. The garden was peaceful, with flowers blooming and birds singing. For the first time all day, Farah's shoulders relaxed. Your Korean is not very good, Sungmin said suddenly. Farah's face got hot. I know. I'm trying to learn faster. But your English is perfect. I heard you talking to yourself in the library. My mother taught me. She said English was important. Farah's voice got quiet. She died 2 years ago. I'm sorry. Real sympathy in his voice. My grandmother died last year. I understand that kind of loss. They looked at each other, really looked, and something passed between them. Understanding, recognition, like they were both lonely in their own ways. The bell rang. Sungmin stood, collecting his tray. What class do you have next? Chemistry? Room 304. But I don't know where that is. I'll show you. It's on my way. As they walked inside together, Farah noticed everyone staring, but this time, Sung-min was beside her, and somehow, that made the stares less scary. When they reached her classroom, he paused. Farah? Yes? Don't let Ji-woo chase you away. You have every right to be here. You earned your spot. Before she could respond, he walked away, leaving her with a strange, warm feeling she didn't quite understand. But across the hall, hidden behind a locker, Ji-woo watched with narrowed eyes and clenched fists. This scholarship girl was becoming a problem. Something needed to be done. Soon. 3 weeks crawled by. Every day brought new torture from Ji-woo and her gang. They hid Farah's textbooks, spread rumors she cheated for her scholarship, photoshopped embarrassing pictures. The principal took them down, but damage was done. Through it all, Sung-min kept appearing like a guardian angel. When girls tripped her in the cafeteria, he caught her arm. When someone locked her in the bathroom, he got the janitor. When her locker was vandalized, he stood beside her while she cleaned it. Farah tried staying away from him. Every time he helped, Ji-woo's bullying got worse. But Sung-min seemed determined to be around. He sat at the library table next to hers during study period. He joined her volunteer program. He always walked down the same hallway at the same time. Other students started talking. Some said Sung-min was playing a game. Others whispered maybe he actually liked her, which was crazy. Farah didn't know what to think. Sometimes she caught him staring with an expression she couldn't read. Sometimes when they talked, she felt like he was looking at her, like she mattered, like she was worth knowing. It scared her, because she was starting to look at him the same way. On Thursday evening, Farah stayed late to study for a math test. The library was quiet and safe. She spread books across a back corner table, surrounded by tall shelves. Mathematics in Korean was difficult. She had to translate everything in her head first. Her eyes grew heavy. Just for a minute, she told herself. Just 1 minute of rest. She fell asleep with her cheek against her textbook. When she woke, everything was dark, completely dark. She sat up quickly, heart pounding. Her phone said 9:30 at night. The library closed at 6. Panic seized her chest. She ran to the main doors and pushed. Locked. Emergency exit, also locked. Windows had bars. She was trapped with no way out. No, 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 she whispered, trying every door. Everything locked tight. Her phone had no signal inside the thick stone building. Then she heard footsteps. Someone else was here. Fear shot through her. Hello, she called in Korean, voice shaking. Is someone there? The footsteps came closer. A figure emerged from between bookshelves, and Farah's fear transformed into shock. Sung-min stood there, looking equally surprised. His tie was loosened, hair messy, like he'd been running hands through it while studying. He carried a thick economics book. Farah, what are you doing here? I fell asleep studying. The library closed, and now I'm locked in. What are you doing here? Same thing. I was reading in the private study room upstairs and lost track of time. He pulled out his phone and frowned. No signal. The walls are too thick. We're trapped, Farah said. What do we do? Sung-min tried several doors, all locked from outside. Windows couldn't be opened, and breaking them would trigger alarms. Finally, he sighed. We're stuck until the janitor opens the building tomorrow morning at 6. 6 in the morning? That's 8 hours from now? I know. He ran his hand through his hair, making it messier. Somehow, he looked even more handsome like this, less perfect and more real. We should find a comfortable place to wait. The reading area upstairs has couches. They climbed the spiral staircase. The reading area was cozy, with soft couches, warm lamps, and big windows letting in moonlight. During the day, it was crowded, but now it felt like their own private world. Farah sat on one couch end. Sungmin sat on the other. The space between them felt enormous and tiny at once. Silence stretched out, awkward and thick. Finally, Sungmin spoke. "Tell me about Algeria. What do you want to know?" "Everything. What's it like? What do you miss most?" So Farah told him. She described white buildings glowing golden in sunset, her grandmother's couscous cooking, the call to prayer echoing through streets, swimming in the Mediterranean Sea with cousins during summer. "It sounds beautiful," Sungmin said softly. "Why did you leave?" "My brother Malik thought I needed better opportunities. The scholarship program accepted me, and he worked extra jobs to afford my plane ticket. He sacrificed so much." Farah's voice cracked. "I can't fail, but sometimes I wonder if I made a terrible mistake coming here. Because of the bullying? Because I don't belong. Everyone here has money, designer clothes, expensive cars. I share a tiny apartment with 2 other scholarship students. We split 1 meal a day to save money." Sungmin turned to face her fully. "You belong here more than most of them. You earned your place. They just bought theirs. You bought yours too. You're right. I never had to work for anything. Everything was given because of my family name. Money, popularity, girls throwing themselves at me." He said it without pride, almost with sadness. "But you know what? None of it means anything. It's all empty." "Poor rich boy," Farah teased gently. "Such a hard life." Sungmin laughed, a real genuine laugh that transformed his whole face. "I deserved that." They smiled at each other, and the awkwardness melted away. Suddenly, they were just 2 people talking. "My turn to share," Sungmin said. "My parents have my whole life planned. What university I'll attend, what degree I'll study, what company I'll run, who I'll marry. They never asked what I want. What do you want?" He was quiet for a long moment. "I don't know. I've never been allowed to figure that out. Sometimes I feel like I'm suffocating under their expectations. Then break free. Choose your own path. Easy to say, hard to do when your family controls everything. Nothing worth having comes easy." Sungmin studied her face in moonlight. "You're wise for someone so young. I'm older than you think. Suffering ages you fast." As they talked, hours slipped away unnoticed. They shared stories and secrets and dreams. They moved closer on the couch without realizing it, drawn together by shared pain and understanding. Their shoulders touched, then their hands. When Sungmin laced his fingers through hers, it felt natural and right. "I've never told anyone these things before," Sungmin whispered. "Why is it so easy to talk to you? Maybe because I'm not trying to use you for anything. I don't want your money or your name. I just see you. You do see me, the real me, not the image everyone else sees." The air between them changed, becoming charged with electricity. Farah's heart started racing. Sungmin's thumb traced circles on her hand, sending shivers up her arm. "Farah," he said softly, "can I ask you something?" "Yes. That first day, when we kissed, did you feel something? Or was it really just an accident?" She should lie. She should protect herself. But looking into his eyes, she couldn't. "I felt something. Good, because I felt it too. I haven't been able to stop thinking about it. About you. It's driving me crazy. Sungmin, we can't. Your world and mine, they're too different. I don't care about that. Your parents will care. Jiwoo will care. Everyone will care. Let them." He leaned closer, until his forehead rested against hers. All I care about right now is this moment. You and me. Nothing else. The space between their lips was almost nothing. Farah could feel his breath. Her eyes started to close. We should stop, she whispered, but she didn't pull away. We should, he agreed, but he didn't move either. Then his lips touched hers, and the world disappeared. This kiss was nothing like the accidental one. This was slow and sweet and deliberate. His hand cupped her face gently, while his other hand stayed tangled with hers. Farah's free hand found its way to his chest, feeling his heart pounding fast. The kiss deepened. Sungmin pulled her closer, and Farah went willingly, wrapping arms around his neck. Time stopped existing. Nothing mattered except being held like she was precious, kissed like she was wanted. When they finally pulled apart, both breathing hard, Sungmin rested his forehead against hers again. I'm falling for you, he said. I know it's too fast and too complicated, but I can't help it. This is dangerous, Farah whispered, but her hand was still in his hair. If anyone finds out, then we'll be careful. We'll keep it secret until we figure things out. He kissed her softly again. Please, give us a chance. Farah knew she should say no, but looking at him, she saw something genuine and real. She saw someone who understood her loneliness. Okay, but we have to be smart about this. I'll be so smart, he promised, grinning. They spent the rest of the night curled up together, talking and kissing and learning each other. As dawn broke through windows, painting everything golden, Farah rested her head on Sungmin's chest, listening to his heartbeat. We should separate before the janitor comes, Sungmin said reluctantly. We can't let anyone know we were here together all night. I know, but neither moved. Finally, when they heard keys rattling downstairs, they jumped apart. They straightened clothes and messed up hair like they'd just woken. When the surprised janitor found them, they pretended to be shocked to see each other. Outside in the empty parking lot with the sun rising, Sungmin caught Farah's hand one more time. This is real for me, he said, seriously. I need you to know that. It's real for me too, and that terrifies me. He kissed her one last time, soft and sweet, before they separated and walked in different directions. But they didn't notice the car parked across the street. They didn't see Ji-woo sitting in the driver's seat, phone pointed at them, recording everything. They didn't see the cruel smile spreading across her face. Finally, she had the evidence she needed to destroy them both. If you're loving this story, subscribe to see what happens next when Ji-woo reveals her evidence. The next 4 weeks were the happiest and most stressful of Farah's life. She and Sungmin became experts at sneaking around. They developed a secret language of looks and gestures. A specific way he touched his ear meant meet me at the rooftop during lunch. When she wore her blue scarf, it meant she couldn't meet him that day. They found hidden places all over Seoul. A tiny cafe in an old neighborhood where no students went. A quiet park bench under a bridge. The school rooftop where Sungmin somehow got a key. In these stolen moments, they were just Farah and Sungmin. Just 2 people falling deeper in love. Sungmin was different when alone. The cold mask melted away. He laughed freely, made terrible jokes, told embarrassing childhood stories. He brought small gifts that showed he listened. A book she mentioned. Her favorite Algerian candy he tracked down. A warm scarf when he noticed her shivering. When they kissed, Sungmin was always gentle and patient. He never pushed her further than she wanted. His hands stayed respectful, even when kisses grew heated. He made her feel cherished and safe and beautiful. Farah knew she was completely in love with him. The realization hit her one afternoon, watching him read beside her in the park, sunlight turning his hair slightly brown. Her heart felt so full, it hurt. She loved him, completely and terrifyingly. But love made everything more dangerous, because now she had something precious to lose. At school, Ji-woo's bullying mysteriously stopped. She still glared at Farah, but the active harassment ended. No more tripping, no more ruined lunches. Farah should have felt relieved, but instead felt nervous, too quiet, too easy, like calm before a storm. Sung-min noticed too. Ji-woo is planning something. Be careful. Maybe she finally accepted that you're not getting back together. Maybe, but he sounded doubtful. Or maybe she's just changing tactics. He was more right than he knew. That Saturday, Farah's brother Malik called with exciting news. His boss was offering him an amazing opportunity. A new position with triple. The salary, benefits, enough money to pay off all debts. That's wonderful, Farah said genuinely. When do you start? There's one small condition. Mr. Hassan needs someone at his Busan office. You would have to transfer schools and move there immediately. But the money is enough to change our whole lives. Farah's heart dropped. Leave Seoul, leave Sung-min. Why does your job promotion require me to move? Mr. Hassan has connections at a very good school in Busan. He can get you in, help with housing. He said it's part of the benefit package. I know it's sudden, but this is the break we've been praying for. Something felt wrong. Very wrong. Why would Malik's boss care where Farah went to school? It didn't make sense. Can I think about it? Of course. But he needs an answer. By Monday. After hanging up, Farah felt sick. She should be excited. But all she felt was dread. Moving to Busan meant leaving Sung-min. She needed to tell him immediately. They met at their cafe. Sung-min took one look at her face and knew something was wrong. When she explained about Malik's job offer, his expression turned dark. This isn't a coincidence. Someone is trying to separate us. That's crazy. Who would even know about us? Ji-woo, my mother. They both have resources to do something like this. His hands clenched into fists. I'll talk to my father. He can find out who's behind this and stop it. But before Sung-min could investigate, disaster struck. Monday morning, Sung-min's best friend, Do-hyun, asked to meet him privately. They met in the empty gymnasium. I need to tell you something about Farah, Do-hyun said uncomfortably. I didn't want to believe it, but I have proof. Proof of what? Do-hyun pulled out his phone and showed screenshots. Messages between Farah and other scholarship students about dating rich boys for money. Photos of Farah laughing with students, with a caption about her bet to seduce Sung-min. Bank transfer records showing money going into an account under her name. Sung-min's blood turned to ice. Where did you get this? I have friends who know people. Look, I know you really like her, but she's using you. Scholarship students have a whole system. They target rich kids, get money and gifts, then disappear. No, Farah wouldn't do this. These are fake. I thought so too. But look at the details. The messages are from her phone number. The bank account has her name on it. Do-hyun put his hand on Sung-min's shoulder. I'm sorry. I know this hurts, but you deserve to know. Sung-min stared at the evidence, his heart breaking. Could it be true? Had Farah been lying this whole time? No. He refused to believe it. But doubt was poison that spread quickly. Why would Do-hyun lie? They'd been best friends since childhood, and the evidence looked very real, very detailed. I need to talk to her, Sung-min said hollowly. Meanwhile, Farah dealt with her own crisis. Ji-woo cornered her in the bathroom, 3 other girls blocking the door. Ji-woo held up her phone. showing a photo. Sungmin having dinner with a beautiful Korean girl at an expensive restaurant. The girl was laughing, touching his arm intimately. The photo was dated from last weekend. Recognize her? Ji-woo asked sweetly. That's Yoon Seo. Her family owns the biggest tech company in Korea. Sungmin's parents arranged their engagement 6 months ago. Farah's world tilted. You're lying. Am I? Ji-woo swiped to show more photos. Sungmin and Yoon Seo holding hands, kissing on a bridge, walking through a shopping district. He's been dating her the whole time he's been playing games with you. Did you really think someone like him would choose someone like you? You were just entertainment. The photos looked real. The timestamps were from the past few weeks, when Sungmin claimed he was busy with family obligations. He told me you were desperate, Ji-woo continued, twisting the knife, that you threw yourself at him and he felt sorry for you. We all laughed about it. Poor little scholarship girl actually thinks the prince loves her. Stop it, Farah whispered, tears burning. The engagement party is this Saturday at the Grand Hotel. You're welcome to come watch if you want. Ji-woo and her friends left laughing. Farah collapsed against the sink. How could she have been so stupid? Of course, Sungmin was just playing with her. That afternoon, when Sungmin tried to meet her on the rooftop, Farah almost didn't go. But she needed to hear him say it. He was already there, pacing. When he saw her, his expression was cold and hard. Is it true? He asked immediately. Did you make a bet with other students about dating me for money? Farah blinked, confused. What? No. Where did you hear that? Do-hyun showed me proof. Messages from your phone. Bank transfers to your account. That's impossible. I never said anything like that. Someone faked those things. Just like someone faked the photos of me with Yoon Seo? Oh, wait. Let me guess. Ji-woo showed you those? You know about them. Farah's heart sank. So it was true. Then you're really engaged to her? No. My parents set up that dinner without telling me. I spent the whole time making it clear I wasn't interested. The photos are taken out of context, probably photoshopped. How can you believe I would do that to you? How can you believe I would use you for money? After everything we shared. They stared at each other, both hurt and angry, and confused. Maybe we're both idiots, Sungmin said quietly. Maybe we never really knew each other at all. Maybe you're right. Farah's voice broke. Maybe this was all just a stupid mistake. Is that really what you think? I don't know what to think anymore. All I know is that this hurts too much. Your world keeps trying to crush me. I can't fight anymore. I'm tired. Sungmin's face softened. For just a moment, he took a step toward her. Farah, don't. She held up her hand. Ji-woo was right about one thing. We're from completely different worlds. I was stupid to think we could make this work. So, you're just giving up? What choice do I have? Everyone is working against us. Someone is lying about both of us. How do we fight that? Together. We fight it together. I can't. Farah's voice was barely a whisper. I'm accepting Malik's job offer. I'm moving to Busan this weekend. It's better this way. Something died in Sungmin's eyes. His expression went completely cold. Fine. If that's what you want. It's not what I want, but it's what has to happen. Then go. I won't stop you. He turned his back to her. You're right. This was a mistake from the beginning. Those words cut deeper than any knife. Farah wanted to run to him, to take it all back, but pride and pain kept her frozen. Goodbye, Sungmin, she whispered. He didn't turn around, didn't say goodbye, just stood there until she finally walked away. Neither saw Do-hyun watching from the stairwell. Guilt written all over his face. He had believed Ji-woo when she said the fake evidence would make Sung-min see Farah's true colors. But looking at his best friend's broken posture, Do-hyun realized he'd made a terrible mistake. And in her car in the parking lot, Ji-woo celebrated with expensive champagne. She had won. Farah would leave Seoul, and Sung-min would eventually come back to her. But she didn't know her victory would be short-lived, because the truth has a way of coming out eventually. 6 weeks passed, like 6 years. Farah settled into her new Busan school, but she felt like a ghost. She studied, attended classes, and smiled when appropriate. But inside, she was hollow. Every night she cried into her pillow, missing Sung-min so much it physically hurt. Malik noticed something was wrong, but didn't know what. His new job was going wonderfully. The money was good. He kept thanking Farah for being flexible, not knowing he was the reason her heart was shattered. In Seoul, Sung-min was equally miserable. He stopped caring about school, basketball, anything. His grades dropped. His friends worried. Even his parents noticed something was seriously wrong. He barely slept, because every time he closed his eyes, he saw Farah's face. Ji-woo tried to swoop back into his life, appearing at family dinners and school events. But Sung-min could barely stand to look at her. Something about her victory smile made his skin crawl. The only person who felt genuinely terrible was Do-hyun. The guilt ate at him constantly. He had betrayed his best friend for a girl who didn't even notice him afterward. The breaking point came from an unexpected source. Yumi, Farah's only friend at school, was cleaning out her locker when she found something strange. A USB drive taped behind her gym shoes. She didn't remember putting it there. Curious, she plugged it into her laptop. The drive contained files labeled with dates, videos, audio recordings, and screenshots. Yumi opened the first video and gasped. It showed Ji-woo and Do-hyun in an empty classroom, discussing their plan to break up Sung-min and Farah. Once they're separated and suspicious of each other, it'll be easy to feed them lies, Ji-woo said on the video, cold and calculating. They'll break up on their own. And you'll really go out with me after? Do-hyun asked hopefully. Ji-woo laughed cruelly. Sure, whatever. Yumi watched file after file, anger building. There were recordings of Ji-woo creating fake screenshots, paying a graphic designer to Photoshop the photos of Sung-min and Yoon-seo. There was even video of Mrs. Park and Ji-woo having lunch, discussing how to get Farah out of Seoul. Someone had documented everything. Someone wanted the truth exposed. Yumi went straight to Director Kang the next morning, showing him everything. Director Kang's face grew more severe with each file. This is extremely serious. He called an emergency meeting. He summoned Sung-min, Ji-woo, Do-hyun, both sets of parents, and Mrs. Park. Everyone gathered in the conference room, tense and confused. I'm going to play some videos, Director Kang said. I want complete honesty from everyone after. He played the files on the big screen. As the truth unfolded, the room fell into shocked silence. Sung-min's hands clenched into fists. Mrs. Park's face went pale. Ji-woo tried to leave, but her parents forced her back. When the last video ended, Director Kang turned to Do-hyun. Is this real? Did you help create false evidence against Farah? Do-hyun couldn't look at Sung-min. Yes, I did it. All of it. The screenshots, the fake bank records, everything. I'm sorry. Sung-min exploded out of his chair. You're my best friend. How could you do this to me? I thought Ji-woo would love me if I helped her. I was an idiot. Sorry doesn't fix what you destroyed. Mrs. Park stood shakily. Sung-min, I was only trying to protect you. That girl wasn't suitable. That girl has a name. And you had no right. Sungmin's voice shook with rage. You manipulated her brother's job. You helped spread lies. You tried to destroy the first real thing I've ever had. Chairman Choi, Sungmin's father, had been quiet. Now he spoke, voice heavy with disappointment. Wife, what you did was wrong. Unforgivably wrong. He turned to Sungmin. I'm sorry. I should have protected your right to choose your own path. Jiwoo's parents were furious. The scandal would ruin their reputation. They dragged her from the room, already talking about sending her to study abroad as punishment. Do-hyun approached Sungmin cautiously. I know you probably hate me forever, but I need you to know the truth. Farah never used you. She never made any bet. She loved you, completely and honestly. Everything you thought she did was fake evidence that I created. Tears ran down his face. I destroyed your happiness because I was jealous and stupid. Sungmin stood there, processing everything. Farah hadn't betrayed him. The messages were fake. The bank records were fake. Everything was a lie, designed to separate them. He had let her go. He had stood there and let her walk away. I need to find her, Sungmin said suddenly. I need to tell her the truth. Where is she? I can find out. The exact address, Director Kang offered. Sungmin made a decision immediately. I'm going to Busan. Right now. Today. Son, perhaps you should call her first, Chairman Choi suggested. No, I need to do this in person. I need to look in her eyes and tell her everything. Sungmin grabbed his jacket. I need to fight for her, the way I should have fought from the beginning. His father smiled slightly. Then go. Take my car and drive her. 3 hours later, Sungmin stood in the middle of an outdoor market in Busan, completely lost. He had Farah's apartment address, but the superintendent said she was helping her brother at work. Malik worked at this market, running a small food stand. But the market was huge and crowded. Sungmin walked through the chaos, searching desperately. Vendors shouted. The smell of cooking food filled the air. He must have looked ridiculous in his expensive clothes, wandering around asking everyone if they knew Farah Benali. Then he saw her. She was at a small stall selling Korean dishes, helping an older woman serve customers. Her hair was pulled back in a simple ponytail. She wore jeans and a plain sweater. But to Sungmin, she was the most beautiful thing he'd ever seen. His heart stopped completely. Farah laughed at something a customer said, and the sound hit Sungmin like a physical blow. He had missed that laugh so much. He started walking toward her stall, pushing through the crowd. His hands shook. What would he say? Would she even listen? But he had to try. Farah looked up from serving a customer and froze. Her eyes went wide. The bowl she was holding slipped from her fingers and shattered. Sungmin, she whispered, like seeing a ghost. He stood a few feet away, breathing hard. Hi, what are you doing here? Looking for you. People were starting to stare, but Sungmin didn't care. He moved closer until he was right in front of her stall. I know the truth, he said. Everything. Jiwoo and Do-hyun confessed. The messages were fake. The photos were fake. All of it was lies, designed to break us apart. Farah's eyes filled with tears. The photos of you with Yoon Seo? Context manipulation and Photoshop. That dinner was a business obligation my parents forced on me. I spent the entire time talking about you, making it clear I wasn't interested. The kissing photos were completely fake. I should have trusted you, Farah said, voice breaking. I should have trusted you too. Sungmin's voice was desperate and raw. Farah, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry I let you go. I'm sorry I believed lies over what my heart was telling me. Come back to Seoul with me, or I'll stay here. I don't care where we are, as long as we're together. I love you, Farah. I've loved you since that first accidental kiss." Farah's tears spilled down her cheeks. "Do you love him, child?" her grandmother Noor asked in Arabic from beside the stall. "More than anything," Farah answered. "Then go to him. True love is rare." Farah threw herself into Sungmin's arms. He caught her, holding her tight, breathing her in. Their kiss was desperate, full of all the pain and longing from their time apart. He kissed her tears away, kissed her lips, her cheeks, her forehead. "Never again," he whispered against her mouth. "Never leaving you again. Never letting anyone separate us again." Around them, the market erupted in cheers, in applause. Strangers clapped and whistled. When they finally pulled apart, both were crying and laughing. "I'm never letting you go again," Sungmin promised, resting his forehead against hers. "Never. You're mine, and I'm yours, and nothing else matters." "Nothing else matters," Farah agreed. They stayed in Busan for 2 more days, while Farah explained everything to Malik. Her brother was furious when he learned how he'd been manipulated. But seeing how happy Farah was with this boy, seeing how Sungmin looked at her like she hung the moon, Malik slowly accepted their relationship. "You hurt her again, and I don't care how rich your family is," Malik told Sungmin seriously. "I'll make you regret it. If I ever hurt her again, I'll deserve whatever you do to me," Sungmin replied honestly. When they returned to Seoul together, hand in hand, the whole school buzzed with gossip. But this time, Sungmin didn't hide their relationship. He walked through hallways with his arm around Farah's shoulders, making it absolutely clear she was his girlfriend. Nobody bothered them after that. Ji-woo was expelled and sent to study in America. Do-hyun transferred to a different school. Mrs. Park apologized stiffly and promised not to interfere anymore. Months passed, then a year. Farah and Sungmin graduated together, top of their class. At graduation, when they called Farah's name for honors, Sungmin stood up and cheered louder than anyone. After the ceremony, in the same hallway where they first accidentally kissed, Sungmin got down on one knee in front of everyone. He pulled out a simple but beautiful ring. "This isn't an engagement ring yet," he said, smiling up at her. "We're too young for that. But it's a promise ring. A promise that when we finish university, when we're ready to build a life together, I'm going to ask you to marry me. And I really hope you'll say yes." Farah looked at the boy who had fought his family and society for her, who had traveled across the country to win her back. "I'll say yes," she promised. "Today, tomorrow, forever. It'll always be yes." He slipped the ring on her finger and stood up to kiss her. Around them, their classmates cheered. 3 years later, Sungmin kept his promise. After they both graduated from university, he proposed properly. A real engagement this time. Farah said yes, just like she promised. Their wedding combined Algerian and Korean traditions, a perfect blend of both their cultures. Family and friends from across the world came to celebrate. On their wedding night, as they stood together on the balcony looking out at Seoul's glittering skyline, Sungmin pulled Farah close. "Remember when you crashed into me that first day?" he asked, smiling. "How could I forget? Most embarrassing moment of my life. Best moment of mine. That accidental kiss changed everything." Farah laughed. "If someone had told me that day that the arrogant, cold, rich boy I kissed would become the love of my life, I would have called them crazy. If someone had told me the clumsy, beautiful, brave girl who ran into me would become my wife, I would have said they were lying." Sungmin turned her to face him. But here we are. Here we are, Farah echoed softly. He kissed her under the stars, and it felt just as magical as that first real kiss in the library, because their love had been tested by lies, betrayal, distance, and prejudice, but it survived everything. Years later, they would tell their children the story of how they met, about an accidental kiss that turned into eternal love, about how they came from different worlds but built their own world together. And every time they told the story, Sung-min would pull Farah close and kiss her softly, showing their children that the love story wasn't just in the past. It was still happening every single day. Because that's what forever means. Not just a promise for the future, but a choice made every morning when they wake up together. Their story started with an unexpected accident, but became the most beautiful certainty either of them ever knew. If this story touched your heart, hit that like button and share it with someone who believes in true love. Subscribe to our channel for more romance stories that prove love conquers all.